morning and welcome. At this point, please join me in welcoming for the salutation, Samantha, Jerry, Margaret, Blair.
Good morning, family, friends, faculty, and the graduating class of 2021. Welcome to one of the most memorable moments of our lives. I'm honored that I get to share it with each and every one of you today. Over a decade of our lives have been dedicated to our education, and here we close one chapter to open the next. I look around and see all of you staring back at me, and with that, I carry memories with each and every one of you. Hebron has given us so much, and in this moment, we can look back and recognize all that it has done for our future and setting us up for success. When I first came to Hebron, it was just over a year and a half ago. And I'll admit, it took some time to adjust to life as a boarding student. Leaving home was a tough decision and forced me out of my comfort zone. It's a lot different here coming from up north. Even the simplicity of learning the temperature in Fahrenheit instead of Celsius was an adjustment. It's so important for us to explore new adventures because life isn't about staying between the lines. Step out of the box and learn to live past societal boundaries. Our first step off this campus is one of many into finding our footing past high school. It may be a long ride home for some, but in the end, we are all going to experience the same feeling of leaving what was once and will forever be our home. Now, I know this sounds cheesy, but I believe everything happens for a reason. Whether it'll be growth or a lesson, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. One of my favorite quotes by Neo reads, "This isn't the end of your story, just this chapter." I resonate with this as even through the disparity in endings, I see hope that there's always a new beginning for each and every one of us. It's important for us to remember in moments like these, what has brought us here and where it can take us. Remembering all the good and even some of the bad in a year that I can assume not many of us have experienced. This pandemic has made a senior year that I can assume none of us had imagined. I'm a huge planner, as some of you may know. I like to be aware of a situation before I put myself into it. And with the amount of unexpected thrown at us this year, I'm surprised I'm still sane. We've all had a difficult time adjusting to this new way of living. But specifically for me, it's allowed me to step out of my comfort zone and lay back and enjoy the moment rather than planning ahead for the next step. I'm grateful for all that Hebron has given me, and I will cherish moments like these for the rest of my life. I wish you all the best wherever life takes you. And even through the difficulties of this year, I'm glad I got to experience it with all of you. Thank you.
And now for a man who needs little introduction, let us please welcome our esteemed class leader, Matthias Riel Roulette.
Okay. This is not mine. There you go. Dear Lumberjacks, thank you all for being here today. I'm very grateful to have an in-person graduation, and I want to thank the graduation committee and everyone who made this possible. I want to send respect to everyone who's watching and can't be here with us today, especially the online students. We miss you guys a lot. Although you couldn't be with us this year, you remain in our hearts as an important part of this community. This year would not be the same without you. In life, you can't understand how important something is to you until you lose it. Last year, that saying became reality when we lost our normal way of life to the pandemic. We were all at home when school closed, and there was no way for us to hug our friends goodbye or even see them leave. The silver lining of this abrupt end of junior year is that each and every one of us finally understood how important friends and community are. This wonderful community taught us many things that will stay with us for the rest of our lives. Even though we are in a small and isolated part of Maine, we're exposed to people from all around the world. Diversity makes us discover the beauty of being different. The friendship we created here will last forever since we spent this atrocious little piece of history together. It is by carrying the values of friendship and community that we were able to make this year so special. Nice catch. The first day out of quarantine in the spring, we realized that our expectation of in-person learning during a pandemic were unrealistic. A lot of rules and details changed, and the Hebron experience wasn't the same, that's for sure. It wasn't the same, but we were here, so we had to make it as memorable as we could. We had no choice but to appreciate every single thing we were allowed to do. We didn't live in the fear of losing our privilege of in-person learning. Instead, we took advantage of every single opportunity. In the spring, we went camping at Fernwood Cove and shared delicious but barely cooked pizza. During the weekends, when the warm weather showed up, we spent many hours playing spike ball, enjoying some nice music, and getting toasted by the sun. We spent a lot of times around bonfires, having spicy conversation and trying to know each other better. We watched the Hebron COVID Cup together and raised money for a walkathon where Miss Waterman was literally the only one walking. Since Christmas, we spent 121 straight days together. After being that close together, it's pretty hard to realize that we won't see each other again for an indefinite amount of time. An old poet named Robert Southey once said, "No distance of place or lapse of time can lessen the friendship of those who are thoroughly persuaded of each other's worth." I will remember this class of 2021 because I am persuaded of its worth. I know that a lot of you guys are persuaded of it too, and nothing can be more powerful than that. When you look back at what we have done this year, our accomplishments are nothing less than exceptional. Hebron may be 217 years old, but this place still thrives because of all of us. I would like to finish with this. In life, you can't control everything. There are challenges that will come on your path and you'll be forced to fight against them. Some of us will try to erase or ignore them, but ignoring the fight will only keep you from taking a step forward. People will try to fight by themselves, introspecting about what they did wrong or what caused the challenge to land on their path. For people like me, working alone leads to a route of hard times, and sometimes I get lost. I find it personally really challenging to try to solve some of my biggest life problem alone. Why would I want to use one single set of eyes, one single brain, one single perception to come up with an incredibly hard solution? In order to address the hardest challenge of my life, I had to open my heart to the people of my community, my surroundings. For the past 2 years, these people were you, my dear teachers and friends of the class of 2021. It sounds cheesy, but it's the reality. What made me go through these 2 incredibly challenging years was the friendship I created with my classmates and teachers. Every single person here has a story. Every single one of us has their own way to deal with their challenges. But I'm sure that at one point or another, the relationship we have with the people of our surroundings are the reason why we keep going. And to quote Brody Hawthorne, tough times don't last, but tough people do. It's with great pleasure that the class of 2021 would like to thank you, Hebron Academy, for all the things you've done for us. Congratulations to every senior, and may the force be with you.
Thank you. At this point, for appreciations from the class of 2021, please welcome Amelia Grace Skelton and Olivia Ann Newell.
Good morning. To the class of 2021, congratulations, we made it. To the faculty, thank you so much for everything. We are so grateful for your dedication, not only to our class, but also to the entire Hebron community. And to the parents, we truly would like to thank you for all being our greatest supporters and our biggest fans. Having been here for the past 4 years, I've had the opportunity to meet and enjoy the company of so many different parents. Through seemingly small, yet incredibly important interactions with many of you, we have gotten to know and love all the parents of our community. Whether it be Jason Miles and Tilly cheering on the girls' varsity soccer and hockey teams, Hapa and Mac Hags providing holiday treats and special celebrations, Mr. Logue watching every single boys' varsity hockey game with Sammy right by his side, or Mom, as many of you know as Dr. Skelton, bringing cookies to share for every sporting occasion. Sadly this year, all of you have had to make the difficult decision to send us off to boarding school in the middle of a pandemic so that we could have the opportunity to learn in person. Because of this, many of you have not seen your children since January, and in some cases, August or even last year. As a class, we are so incredibly grateful for your support through what has been an extremely difficult and challenging year. While it may have seemed in quarantine last spring that we all hated you and wanted to get away, this year has shown us how important it is to have your support, and we have missed having you by our side to witness our accomplishments over the past 9 months. As we graduate and look forward to next year, my hope is that all the underclassmen get to enjoy some of their proudest moments here with their parents by their side. Finally, I would like to thank you, our parents, our greatest supporters, and the ones who have played a major role in this milestone, for being here today to celebrate and congratulate the class of 2021. It has been quite a journey, and I know that we are all looking forward to the hugs, laughs, and tears of reunion with our loved ones that will soon follow this ceremony. Thank you.
Growing up is a terrifying thing. This statement isn't limited to the liminal period between adolescence and adulthood that the 60 of us here are about to face, but watching yourself change, whether from a child to a teenager or from middle age to elderly, is scary beyond words. There is no map, no book, nothing to tell you what is about to happen or how you're supposed to deal with it, even as you grow older. That's what growing up is. You figure it out for yourself, no matter how scared you are. You look at yourself and the world changing and you embrace it. It's never easy and it never gets easier with time. But thankfully, you never have to face growing up alone. All of us here today have grown up at Hebron. Whether that means living your whole life here or simply experiencing your final year of high school on this campus, our growth is only made possible by the faculty who surround us. These are the people who have dedicated themselves to our growth, to seeing us become the best that we can. It hasn't always been easy for both the students and the faculty, because sometimes growing up requires a little bit of tough love. But in the end, the faculty have always made it known that they truly want the very best for us. They have pushed us and comforted us, and because of all this, they have helped us grow. At the same time, the faculty themselves have been growing up too. Their lives and ideas have been changing just as quickly as ours. Our growth has impacted theirs and vice versa. Everyone here has learned something, not necessarily academic, about helping others on their ever-evolving journey. So, as we go our separate ways to continue to learn, grow, and love, please know that the Hebron faculty will always be in our hearts and minds. We thank you for allowing us to be a part of your growing up too. As I said before, there are no directions to life, no correct way to live. We are all simply figuring it out as we go. While perhaps we can never quite make it perfectly easy, the people here at Hebron have done all they can to impart their wisdom onto us to ensure that we can face our never-ending growth in the most prepared way possible. To me, that effort is the greatest gift that you can give. Finally, although it never truly stops, the fear surrounding growing up is diminished when you're around people you love and people who love you back. Because of the faculty at Hebron, this has been true for each and every one of us, and for that, we thank you.
All right. Let me begin with a heartfelt welcome to all. I know that for many, this is the first time that you've been back on campus since perhaps you dropped your child off in what seems like a very, very long time ago in September. And for others, perhaps it's your first time on campus. And to all the distance learners and distance learning families, perhaps who have not been on campus ever, please know how much we appreciate what you've done this year in committing to sending your kids to Hebron so that they can be a part of this experiment and this successful experiment at learning in person during a pandemic. It's incredible to be here with all of you today and to actually be having an in-person graduation, which is not something we thought was possible a few months ago. So welcome to all. And I also would like to just take a second and reflect and congratulate all of our student speakers so far. And of course, anticipatory congratulations for those to come. If there's anything students get from Hebron, it's the gift of being well-spoken. But being well-spoken means knowing what you have to say and having something to say of meaning and of purpose. Obviously, our students all have that gift through our words program and through the way that our faculty cultivate their sense of inquiry, their sense of self, their sense of purpose, their ability to poke the box a bit. And obviously that was on display today. So congratulations to all of our speakers. Let me begin, as has been said before, but cannot be said enough. Parents, sending your child to boarding school at any time is a commitment. It's an investment. It's an investment of time, of treasure. It's a sacrifice. You give up the thing of which you care about the most, and you entrust us with your child. You have my deep respect and appreciation, as of all the faculty. We love what we do here. Maybe not every minute of every day, but we do. And we do it because we're able to work with kids like yours who come to a place like this at this moment in time to learn, to grow, to make mistakes, to reflect, and to become the best version of themselves. So to the parents who've made this commitment and the grandparents in the room who've supported this as well, and those online, you have our respect and our thanks. So to the parents, please. Now, we don't have the crowd we normally have, so I apologize if anyone feels singled out, but I would be remiss and regretful if I did not ask at this point any alumni of the school, I'm looking at you, Bill Skelton, to please stand up and be recognized. Alumni. You may be seated. The alumni and any recent graduates who are here and any current parents of alumni who are about to graduate, welcome home. Hebron obviously iterates and changes. We aren't teaching the same things we taught in 1804. We try to be adaptive and we try to move on. So as much as the school adapts and changes, Hebron is always home. This is the place where we are. And I hope that that resonates with you, and it's wonderful to see you back, and we look forward to welcoming you back more often when the pandemic is over. So welcome back, alumni. Unfortunately, our trustees are not able to be here because of pandemic restrictions and all the challenges, but to the trustees online, we thank you for having the support that you've given us throughout this year, which has not been without its challenges. Our board is committed, our board is supportive, our board is forward thinking, and we're very, very grateful for all that they do for us. So to the Board of Trustees, thank you. Now, I want to be cognizant of not speaking for 2 hours, which would have been much more common at Hebron Academy in the commencement ceremony in the 1800s. If you ever read the Hebron history, you'll notice that these ceremonies sometimes lasted for the entire day. And I can say this, we could literally spend an entire day trying to properly thank the faculty and staff for what they've done this year, and we would not do it justice. This time last year, we had serious conversations about whether or not we would be able to open the school, whether or not we would have families that committed to sending their kids here, whether or not we would have employees that would be willing to take the risk in a world without a vaccine, with a virus we didn't know much about, whether or not students would be able to have visas or fly here from all of the countries for which we care about and from which you all come from. In fact, our northern border is still not open, is it, right? Unless you have a visa or an I-20. So no new students from certain places are even able to come. But the fact is that we wrote a playbook. You know, oftentimes we said it was kind of like building a plane midair, right? Which is not advisable, but sometimes you just have to adjust. And our faculty and our staff, not only were they able to write that playbook, but they were able to enact it and follow it out and iterate and make mistakes and learn from them and grow in the process. We've all made sacrifices, social contracts, right? Distancing, restrictions, things that we've given up with our own families, time, closeness. Raise your hand if you haven't seen your parents in over a year, many of you. But great sacrifices are important sometimes. And we did it for each other and we did it for you. And I think we have a lot to be proud of. But it wouldn't be possible without the sacrifice, without the dedication, without the hard work, and without the care of our faculty and staff. So, to the unsung heroes of the year, please let us thank our faculty and staff. Now, we're at an interesting turning point in the nation, right? May 24th, the masks come off, people who are vaccinated kind of resume their normal life in Maine. But the reality is that the global picture is much different, isn't it? And if you're looking at the death counts in places like India, it's rather staggering. Everyone in this room knows someone who is negatively impacted, whether economically, whether physically, whether emotionally, by this pandemic. We have people within the direct Hebron community who've experienced loss and death, sickness, and other hardships. So at this point, I think it's only appropriate, before we transition to the remarks I'll read from the board chair, that we have a moment of silence. And I would ask that we think about those who are less fortunate than us, that we reflect on the things that weren't perfect, but we reflect on the things that we can be grateful for, which is that we're all sitting here together today, and that we're all ready to move on to the next chapter. And that we understand that it wasn't simple and it wasn't easy and it wasn't perfect, but we did it and we did it together. So for all those that are in harder circumstances than ours right now, let's please show our gratitude that we've had each other, and let's send out hope to the world that we can round the corner truly, not just here, not just in Maine, but in all your home countries and in all the world. So please join me in having a moment of silence. Thank you. Our board chair, Matthew Ernest, who's class of 76, was not able to make it today. Wasn't able to come up from Connecticut, but obviously sends his best wishes and wishes that he was here with all of you. And so I'm now going to read his remarks for the class of 2021. I'm very proud of all the class of 2021 has accomplished. What you've achieved this year is nothing short of amazing, given all the challenges that have been thrown in your path. You've shown grit, determination, and perseverance in the face of a pandemic and all of the attendant limitations, inconveniences, sacrifices, and stresses. Remember that all the extra rules and protocols that I am sure were so annoying to all of you were put in place by and enforced by people whose only agenda was physical, emotional, and educational well-being and growth. Think today about what gratitude means to you, and then express it liberally to your parents, teachers, friends, and family. You have all earned a great asset, a Hebron Academy diploma. Walk proudly with that badge and do great things in life. I wish you all the best, and I add my congratulations and that of the entire Board of Trustees. We're almost at the awards, not quite yet. So I've thought a lot about what I could say to this group that we haven't said before and we haven't talked about. And there's not much. There's not much. We've been together, as Matthias said, for 121 days. I think we've seen maybe too much of each other. But at the end of the day, I actually think, as hard as this year was, that the silver linings carry forward in ways that are immensely positive. And I hope, just like the great class of 1986 came together when John Leiden died to make sure that the school finished positively, that the great class of 2021 came together and will be written in the Hebron history books as a group that shepherded the school through a difficult time. Now, one of the things that was hardest, not just that you couldn't see your parents, that you couldn't go home on weekends, we also ostensibly didn't have sports. We didn't go to places like Walmart or the main mall. We didn't go on field trips. You couldn't go in people's rooms. A lot of challenges, a lot to adapt to. But one of the gifts that we got back that you may not see as a gift now, but I hope that you will at some point, and I certainly do, is you get the gift of time, connectedness, purpose, and place. And I think back to one very special night when we went to Fernwood Cove. It was Matthias's birthday. I cooked amazing pizzas, first of all. Okay, so I think this has come up in several speeches now, and for the record, I would like to say that we're way better than the one that Emmett made. Also, epic takedown of Pedro Latasa in Manhunt. Where was he? Yep, he still hasn't recovered. But the thing is that we did things that were more like summer camp. A time before the iPhone, a time before thinking about leaving, a time before thinking about people outside of the school. We had an experience that was probably similar to the experience of people 50, 20, 70 years ago when they went to boarding school, where their experience was what happened on campus. Instead of trying to be connected about thinking about what's next, we thought about what was here. And while that seemed oppressive and challenging, it really was a gift. And I can tell you that it was a gift. And I have a moment that I don't think I'll ever forget. So, in this night that we went camping at Fernwood Cove, which is a wonderful place, and we're so thankful to the owners who are Hebron parents who've let us go there and have a good time. And Miss Farber and I were chaperones, and it was a camp out, and it was surprisingly cold because it's Maine. And anyways, we had a great time. We made pizzas, we played games. You know, I learned that I'm much slower than I used to be in Manhunt. And at some point, it was time to go to bed, and so I literally went to my single tent and tried to fall asleep. And we said, kids, you know, stay up, whatever you want to do, just be safe, do your job. And what they didn't know is that we were, I don't know, 50, 100 feet away, and we could hear everything, because anything on a lake, if you ever want to buy property in a lake, don't do it. You're going to hear everything everybody does. And it was the funniest thing to hear this group of kids, some who were brand new to the school, some who've been here since middle school, sit around a campfire and talk about what's on their mind till the wee hours of the night. And I went to bed thinking, my God, this nation has hope, because these are kids who are curious, who are kind, who have fun, who have promise, who have potential, who care about each other, and who are able to be in the moment. You were in the moment that night. You were good to each other. You were appreciative of something that in years past you might not have even signed up to go to, because you would have gone to the Union or the main mall, or you would have been on a hockey trip, driving to KUA, which is like 50 hours away, right? So we took that time to be in the moment. And I went to bed that night a happy guy, because I thought, you know what, we're going to be okay. These are good kids. They know where they're going. They're not perfect. We're not perfect. But they've got some things under control, which is that they're empathetic, they're smart, and they're connected. And so I hope, as young alums, that you stay connected. You leaned on each other this year, and you got each other through it. Good times and bad. And as Brody said, tough times don't last, but tough people do. So, to the great class of 2021, congratulations on everything you've accomplished and all you will accomplish. So, how did they get here? At this point, let's officially welcome this great class. If you began in the middle school, please stand and remain standing and be recognized. Middle schoolers. If you came to Hebron in the 9th grade, please stand and be recognized. If you joined our community in your sophomore year, please stand. If you came as a junior, please stand. And for any seniors or postgraduates, please stand. You may be seated. To the great class of 2021, you truly are a diverse group of strong individuals. You've left your indelible mark on Hebron Academy, served as loyal ambassadors, leaders of our school culture, and we know you will carry forward in pursuit of wisdom, truth, and right as you live your purpose and make a difference in this world. We hope you will visit often, and we know that Hebron will always be your home. So congratulations. We are proud of who you are and what you have accomplished. And now, on to the awards. We'll begin with awards for academic excellence. And while we practice this extensively, I'll remind you, come up, you'll receive your award, and then where are we taking photos? Right here in front of the banner, okay? Awesome. So, the decisions for these academic awards were reached by various departments. We begin with art, where we celebrate Elena Margaret Bonus. English award goes to Kyla Marie Menk. For the award in French, Vinny Fougere. Now, for the first but not last of our distance learners who will be recognized today with awards, please join me in congratulating the history recipient, Ji Chen. Earning the music award, Cora Lee Young. Two recipients will win this year's mathematics award. The first is a distance learner, Yor Wu. The second is Minghua Zhang. Don't go far. For the Sciences Award, we have two recipients this year. The first is Emmett Toshiro Grover. And welcoming back to the stage, Minghua Zheng. I think they can come up together for this one. Earning the award jointly in Spanish this year, Margaret Mason Skelton and Amelia Grace Skelton. Get a twofer, yeah. Come on. All right, moving on to the prizes. The Outdoor Leadership Prize is presented to a student who exhibits kindness to others, self-respect and self-sufficiency, the ability to make and execute difficult decisions, and a profound concern for the natural environment. This year, awarded to distance learner Karine Okada, and Minghua Zheng. The Award for Humanity and Social Justice is given to a member of the Hebron community who has in word and deed shown exceptional commitment to persevering and expanding acceptance and tolerance of all persons regardless of race, color, or religion, gender, age, or ancestry, physical or mental disability, or sexual orientation. In 2021, the award goes to Catherine Grace Deschamps. The Burnett Memorial Award is a book given by the parents of Emile Robert Burnett of the class of 1960 to be awarded annually to a senior for further studies in the humanities. The 2021 recipient is Kyla Marie Mank. The Loremer Scholarship Prize is given in memory of Louise Pinkham Loremer, a descendant of William Barrows, innovative woman of theater and film, advocate for the environment, and devoted summer resident of the Hebron community. The prize this year honors a student for her commitment to the liberal arts and potential for theater. This year awarded to Ji Chen, distance learner. The Tyler Grand Maison Scholarship supporting early success in college is underwritten by the Melmac Foundation and is given to a graduating senior of the state of Maine who has overcome obstacles and has made a positive contribution to the school. community, and extracurricular activities. Has demonstrated commitment to public service and has the potential to make a difference in the world. In 2021, the scholarship is awarded to Kyla Marie Mank. The Regis A. LePage Scholarship Prize is given by LePage Bakeries of Auburn, Maine, in honor of Regis A. LePage, a generous supporter of post-secondary study for young people in the belief that strength comes through education. The prize is awarded to a student at Hebron Academy from the surrounding area. Awarded in 2021 to Amelia Grace Skelton. The Senior Scholarship Prize is given for outstanding excellence in general scholarship for the class of 2021. Awarded this year to Minghua Zhang. The Reed Awards are given to an outstanding young man and woman in recognition of fine spirit, improvement in skill, devotion to athletic teams, and an unselfish determination to contribute to Hebron's athletic success. In 2021, the recipients are Amelia Grace Skelton and Crevin Arthur Ferguson. The Bessie Fan Award is given for superior performance in the field of athletics, outstanding cooperation, leadership, and fair play. Awarded this year to Samantha Jerry Margaret Blair. The Athletic Award is given for superior performance in the field of athletics. In 2021, awarded to Vinny Fougere. The Leiden Award honors a senior who has grown as a person and as a student. who has overcome obstacles and whose concern for others and for the Hebron community exemplifies the care and contributions of the Leiden family for more than 30 years. This year's recipient is Julian Lee Lamont. The Edward Tate Green Key Award is a book to be given in the name of Edward Henry Tate II, the class of 1957, to honor a member of the senior class for his or her marked qualities of humanity. In 2021, awarded to Yor Wu, distance learner. The Ernest Sherman Award is presented in memory of Jack Sherman, for many years chef steward of Hebron Academy, to a member of the Hebron Academy community who best exhibits dedication to Hebron Academy and personal concern for fellow students and the community. Awarded this year to Margaret Mason Skelton. The Charles and Amy Dwyer Award honors the memory of Charles C. and Amy M. Dwyer, who were members of the Hebron Academy community for more than half a century. He as a student, teacher, coach, and she as tutor, counselor, and librarian. The prize is awarded to an outstanding scholar athlete, and this year the recipient is Brody Robert Hawthorne. The Milton G. Wheeler Good Fellowship Award is given by George Brody of the class of 1929 to honor Milton G. Wheeler of the class of 27 in order to recognize a member of the senior class for highest standards of citizenship and integrity. Awarded in 2021 to Olivia Ann Newell. The Femister Award is a book from the funds given in memory of David Kent Femister II, president of the class of 1962, by his friends and classmates to honor a senior who has shown outstanding leadership and responsibility. This year awarded to Matthias Riel Ouellette. The Wristman Honor Award is given by we all make mistakes. The Wristman Honor Award is given by George Brody, the class of 29, to honor his Hebron roommate, Edward R. Wristman of the class of 1930, to distinguish a member of the senior class whose diligence of academic accomplishment determination in athletic endeavor, and outstanding good character merited recognition. This year's recipient is Samantha Jerry Margaret Blair. And lastly, before the presentation of diplomas, our one final award, the Hebron Academy Cup. The cup is given to that member of the senior class who, in the opinion of the faculty, represents the finest spirit of scholastic effort, who has in athletic competition shown a high degree of excellence, and who has in personal relations with the school shown a commendable spirit of devotion, high ideals, friendliness, endeavor, and responsibility, which qualities Hebron Academy holds in highest esteem. In 2021, the Hebron Cup is awarded to Emmett Tashira Grover. He doesn't get to keep it. At this point, please welcome our Academic Dean, Chris Hemmings, who is going to read off the names for the presentation of diplomas. But before that, one last big round of applause for the class of 2021.
You ready? Matthias Real Wallet.
Here alone.
Oh, hold on. Photo bomb.
Yeah.
Olivia Ann Newell. Amelia Grace Skelton. Paige Jeanette Burgoyne. Lillian Elaine Bergeron. Distance learner Lily Sue Bisbee. Samantha Jerry Margaret Blair. Elena Margaret Bonus. Savannah Nicole Bushy. Dominic Joseph Brunetti. Morgan Jacqueline Boussier. William Chatovar. In absentia. Chen Jie, distance learner. Thomas Crawford. Distance learner Austin Jackson DeCoster III. Catherine Grace Ducharme. Kevin Arthur Ferguson. Vincent Fougere. Mauricio Garcia Macias. Distance learner Nicolas Garcia Martin. Wesley Michael Gilpin. Emmett Toshiro Grover. Distance learner William Dan Harvey. Brody Robert Hathorn. George Kenneth Hendrick IV. Oscar Youngsho Hornick Wu. Distance learner Jiang Zhangyi. Yoav Capeluto. Pedro Maria Latasa. Julian Lee Lemon. Distance learner Ethan Henry Leonard. Distance learner Braden Richard Logue. Distance learner Lu Yiyao. Jacob Jonas Lundstrom. Kyla Marie Mank. Distance learner Ava Peach Mantenuto. Distance learner Koki Matsuwaki. Francisco Daniel Medina Gutierrez. Distance learner, but here in person, Taya Marie Miles. Cieros Exline Minovi. Distance learner Karine Okada. Kai Cummings Proctor. Pham Zui Kwan, in absentia. James Stanton Ray. Distance learner Cynthia Marie Rose.
Sorry. Cynthia Mary Rose.
Eli Sahar Blanco. Margaret Mason Skelton. Distance learner Zachary Mark Smith. George Lee Spencer III. Trevor Patrick Corey Swanbeck. Distance learner Solomon Julius Sweet. William Rob Taji. Distance learner Samuel Alexander Tate. Distance learner Chaz Dalen Trott. Distance learner Valerie Skorek. Distance learner Wang Gao Young. Distance learner Wang Iwen. Allison Wendy Wernick. Distance learner Darius Josiah Woolridge. Distance learner Wu Yu Er. Cora Lee Young. Zhang Minghua.
How about one last big round of applause for the class of 2021? At this point, please join me in welcoming Mr. Falconer up, who is going to lead us in the Hebron hymn.
Before we sing the Hebron hymn, the Heebie-Jeebies would like to sing the song Good Old Days by Macklemore and Kesha in honor of the class of 2021.
I was thinking about the band. I was thinking about the fans. We were on the fields, boys varsity C, cheering them on in the stands. Just a small town in rural Maine. Snow in April may drive you insane, but the friendships that we made will last far beyond all the time we gave. Still growing up, performing the page to dream about what I become. Couldn't wait to get older, couldn't wait to be someone. Now that I'm here, wishing I was still young. Those good old days. I wish somebody would have told me, babe, that sometimes these would be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of these good old days. Wish I didn't say no to that trip. Wish I didn't give up my adventures. Wish I made it to homecoming. Got up the courage to ask them. Wish I would have gotten out of the shell. Wish I didn't sit in my dorm room and dwell. Wish I wouldn't worry about what other people thought and felt comfortable in myself. Bus windows open, screaming 119. Celebrating our victories as a team. Chips taken to China, Peru and more. I think we can all admit life here is never a bore. Those good old days. Never thought we'd get old. Maybe we're still young. May we always look back and think it was better than it was. Maybe these are the moments. Maybe I've been missing what it's about. Been scared of the future, thinking about the past while I'm missing out on now. We've come so far. I guess I'm proud. And I ain't worried about the wrinkles around my smile. I've got some scars. I've been around. I've felt some pain, I've seen some things, but I'm here now. Oh, you don't know what you got. Oh, till it goes. Oh, till it's gone. Oh, you don't know what you got. Oh, till it goes. Oh, till it's gone. I wish somebody would have told me, babe, that someday these would be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of these Hebron days.
Okay, cool.
And now the Hebron hymn.
So ye beside all waters the seeds of love and light, and train your sons and daughters to wisdom, truth, and right. Open fresh founts of beauty along life's devious road, that shun the soul to duty and lead it up to God. As priests of God anointed to keep His high behest, we take the charge appointed to do such business. crowns befitted, let love their light to shine. The toil to us committed, the help, O God, is thine.
All right, we're almost there. Let's please welcome Emmett Toshiro Grover for the valediction.
One second.
We got all that.
Like many of you, this ceremony has come with many mixed emotions. I'm excited for what is to come, but leaving behind the school that has defined my life for the past 4 years is certainly daunting. Over the past few days, weeks, and months leading up to this ceremony, I've often found myself stuck between these two mindsets, reflecting on the past while simultaneously worrying about the future. There's no doubt that the many unknowns and seemingly endless possibilities that come after graduation leave me just as intimidated as I was 4 years ago when I first set foot on this campus. However, I would like to think that a lot has changed since then. And there's one lesson in particular that I've learned here at Hebron that makes me truly excited for what is to come. Albert Einstein once said, "I have no special talents. I'm only passionately curious." Obviously, I'm not Albert Einstein, but the message contained in this quote has resonated with me as I've reflected on my high school career. Some of my most vivid memories and fun experiences here at Hebron have come when I have followed my own passionate curiosity, whether that be in the biology lab with Dr. Swenton, exploring an island on Marshall Pond by canoe, or on the baseball field this spring. Knowing that I have been able to find my place here at Hebron by following my curiosity and pursuing my passions helps dispel many of my fears for next year. One of the best examples of this I already mentioned, AP Biology with Dr. Swenton. Learning about cells and how they work captured my imagination, and I was immediately intrigued by the processes related to the regulation of cell division and how that can lead to cancer. A few short months later, I was able to see how that knowledge was applied in real life during my short and successful bout with cancer. Going through treatment showed me that oncology is an incredibly important and rewarding field that I want to learn more about. Without the chance to explore the intricacies of cell cycle regulation in bio, I probably wouldn't have been able to realize that. I share this anecdote with you all because I know that this school is many different things to many different people. But over the past 4 years, for me, Hebron has been a place to try new things and follow my curiosity. That experience has given me a path of study, amazing memories, and friends that will last a lifetime. As I look around at the faces of my fellow classmates, I know that Hebron has been a place of exploration for many of you as well. I see people who are passionately curious about hundreds of different topics: psychology, sailing, computer programming, exercise science, music, and so much more. As we all take our first steps away from Hebron, I would encourage you all to use these passions as a starting point to discover what truly excites you, and be open to finding inspiration in surprising places. When I first went into treatment, I had no idea that I would be inspired to follow in the footsteps of the doctors who cared for me. Now, I can't wait to see what I can learn next year. I know that everyone is excited to see their families, and I have not been quite as entertaining as our class president. So I will leave you all with this. Before we all leave campus for the last time as students, at the end of this challenging year, I would ask you all to reflect on a time when you were able to explore your passionate curiosity here at Hebron. Rather than dwelling on the adversities and hardships that we all had to face this year, carry that moment of inspiration and curiosity with you when you leave campus for the last time, and follow wherever it may lead. Thank you all for listening. To the class of 2021, we made it.
I'm waiting for the bagpipe music to start. But I think you can process on your own at this point. In a non-traditional year, we'll have a non-traditional processional. All right, listen, it's amazing to share this space with you all today. And honestly, I can't say anything better than what these student speakers have already said. So for the last time, I'd like to present to you the class of 2021, who are now proud Hebron alumni.